When you look at Robert Skinner and Tia Harding, it's pretty clear that love is in the air. After a year of dating, the Christian couple is planning that trip to the altar.
That's nice.
That's real pretty.
They have high hopes for a loving and lasting marriage.
I believe we put God first in all things, and He'll direct our paths. And He said every good man's footsteps are ordered by Him.
I believe first you have to communicate with God first, and then with your spouse. And if communication remains in the marriage, you won't have to worry about a divorce.
It's fair to say that for most couples starting out in marriage, separating or divorcing never comes to mind. But when the wedding is over and reality sets in, what makes the difference between the couple who works through the hard times and the ones who just call it quits? 28 years and 3 kids later, Ron and Gwen Berghold's marriage is still going strong.
You just have to have that commitment to love each other. And it's not an emotion, it's not a feeling, it is a commitment all the way through the marriage.
Gwen agrees, but admits it has not always been easy.
When we get upset with each other, I have to think of what's best for him, not just me. I have to get over my selfishness and go, well, how can I help Ron? What's best for him and for us together?
And what about couples who find themselves losing that love and feeling soon after tying the knot? Marriage expert Dr. Jennifer Ripley encourages newlyweds to be patient with the process and with one another.
Everybody has that feeling after they get married at some point, whether it's 5 days or 5 months or 5 years later. What did I do? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing here? And really, that's the point at which God takes us, I think, from the honeymoon period where everything's beautiful to now, are you going to develop a deeper character?
She points to 4 C's in developing that character. First, covenant, because that's how God defines marriage, followed by commitment, communication, and confession.
You see these couples that have been married for 50 or 60 years. You see them go through many things, but they've held their commitments to each other. They've prioritized the relationship as a covenant. They've communicated well. They're very considerate of each other. They confess, they forgive, they rebond with each other.
Research also shows that couples who view their vows as sacred are more likely to stay married, reinforcing the idea that marriage is a covenant, not a contract to be taken lightly. Roy and Izola Jones had that in mind when they said "I do" 42 years ago.
I think about the things we said to each other on our wedding day, and I saw how significant they were, how meaningful, how they were rules to live your life.
It's me accepting him without trying to change him into my image of what a husband should be. Instead, my job is to love him, is to respect him, is to accept him, and sometimes to forgive him even.
Studies also show that friendship between husband and wife is a big plus.
You look at how best friends talk to each other and how healthy marriages, people in healthy marriages talk to each other, it looks exactly the same.
That is pretty evident when you look at Roy and Izola.
We were friends first. That friendship helped us through until we learned some sense, until we started maturing.
Meanwhile, Tia and Robert's wedding is just weeks away. The lovebirds admit they have a lot to learn about marriage, but say they are ready to embark on the journey together.
We're not perfect. There's going to be flaws, maybe some ups and downs, but we're willing to work it out.
CHARLENE Israel, CBN News.